It's the whacked out news. People breaking the law. Ha ha, fighting in the nude. Ha, drunk people pooping in the street. Ha ha, it's the whacked out news. Huh, so many people on meth. Ow!
Well, we got some more details on the death of 32-year-old Kevin Rodriguez Zavala. He's the one who died of multiple blunt impact injuries on Epic Universe's Stardust Racers roller coaster. Now, the one thing that we're finding out is he had used a wheelchair and had a pre-existing spinal injury.
He used a wheelchair to get up to the ride.
Believe so. And it's because he had a pre-existing spinal injury. The dual launch coaster, if you don't know, reaches 62 miles an hour and 133 feet, featuring a twisting celestial spin, as they describe it. Now, Universal's guide says riders must independently support torso, neck, and head and brace with at least one arm. And they're saying that he may not have been able to meet that criteria.
Oh, no.
Universal has reported 2 prior medical incidents on the ride in June. So I wonder where they're going to meet on this. I think they've had the ride shut down since then. And that ultimately is the question. Now, just looking at some of the comments, some people are like going, look, you got to understand your own physical limitations and whether or not you are suitable to be on a roller coaster or not. So this might bring up a bigger deal depending upon what happens with this. You imagine a lawsuit will probably follow depending upon where it lands. It could affect what they wind up doing for people that might have disabilities trying to go onto roller coasters.
So do they think from this synopsis that the blunt force trauma he experienced to his head was actually his head hitting his own seat because he could not brace himself?
Sounds like that might be it, because I haven't heard anything about any kind of malfunction. There was one witness that had said they had seen something that was metal that was dangling, but I think that's kind of been debunked now. And so as far as I know, there wasn't any kind of failure with the ride. It might have just been too rough for this guy and what he could handle.
Yeah, it sounds like maybe that was the case if there's no malfunction of the equipment.
Yeah.
When they said blunt force trauma, like all of us thought, oh my gosh, some kind of metal flew off the ride and hit him in the head.
Yeah, as far as what I've seen right now, I assume we'll be seeing more and reports that'll happen, and we'll see where this winds up going. Remy said, look, I've been on this ride 4 times, and there was nothing jarring on it that would cause head trauma, in my opinion. The story makes more sense after hearing his condition before riding, so that might just have been it. But how do you hold people accountable? Because then you get in that really uncomfortable thing of saying, hey, I don't know.
Can you brace yourself?
Right.
But
is this ride good for you? And then you're having a conversation with somebody. Imagine if they're doubling down and then they get, argumentative. And here you are, a ride operator. You're holding up an already long line. And you're like, I don't know if you're able to ride this ride. So who does the responsibility fall on at that point?
And it'd be uncomfortable, too, for the ride operator saying, I don't know if you can go on. Now you're in this weird conversation.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable.
I guess we got to find out more, but I've just still heard the blunt force trauma, but even Ashley's saying it's a very smooth ride. It's just very fast. So I don't know where this thing's going to land or what it means for the future of this ride or that Epic Universe that's so popular.
Someone in Tallahassee over the weekend showed me a terrible TikTok prank. They said this guy was riding a roller coaster with his friend, and before they got on the coaster, he had this giant bolt, and he had put it in his pocket, and right as they're going up the ride, he pulls the bolt out of his pocket and goes, dude, this just came off your seat.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Yeah,
that's hilarious.
TikTok pranks.
TikTok.
See, that's how I'm not.
This is again why we should have the TikTok ban.
That's why.
They got to ban it.
It's terrible.
Yeah, that's why we got to ban it. They say Boynton Beach police say a man armed with a sprinkler pipe broke windows, fought officers, and stopped to make a sandwich during a Wendy's break-in. This happened on Woolbright Road around 4 p.m. on Wednesday. 28-year-old Devin Driver was acting violently and swinging the pipe. They had to use a taser to subdue him as he spat at and struck one officer while resisting arrest. They said he first appeared at the drive-thru with the pipe, then threw a rock through a window and entered the store. An employee then reported hearing a loud boom before seeing him behind the counter making himself a sandwich and pocketing chicken nuggets.
I mean, if there wasn't so much violence, I could see Wendy's going, hey, you want to work here? You have a great work ethic.
Yeah.
You obviously have an affection for our food.
I mean, if you've already gone and committed all those crimes anyway, at that point, you're like, you know what? I'm going to the clink. I might as well make a sandwich.
Yeah, what is
And
going
get
with this
nugget
dude?
pockets.
Yeah, get as much food as you can.
Right. Wow.
How fun would it be? Minus the crime part of it. But if you were just allowed to go in the back of Wendy's or KFC and just make whatever you wanted.
Since I was a kid, it's always been a fantasy of mine just to go in a fast food restaurant and they go, have at it, man. Make whatever kind of sandwich you want.
Make a hybrid.
You make a hybrid, exactly. Yeah, you get me.
I knew you'd get ginned up on that.
75-year-old Harvey Sliker in Utica, New York, faces simple assault and reckless endangerment charges after allegedly threatening children on his school bus. Sliker ordered students age 5 to 12 to close the windows of the bus. Then he blasted the heater on high while outside temperatures were at 74 degrees. They say interior bus temperatures may have climbed to between 95 and 100 degrees. Police report that Stryker then told the children, "I'm going to cook you all."
My God.
What the hell?
And then he said, "And tomorrow I'm bringing a paddle."
Ugh.
Kids reportedly came home crying and extremely sweaty.
Oh my gosh.
He's got to take a leave of absence.
Yeah, we need to go ahead and pull him from that bus.
We need a bit of a reset.
Yeah, they have pulled him from the bus.
You can't be around kids anymore.
I'm not sure you can be around too many people, to be quite honest.
Humans.
Yeah.
Anyone.
You're in a timeout.
Yes. There's a Florida man who was posting rage bait videos online to make money, but it all backfired when he's the one that wound up arrested. Police were called to the man's mobile home in Pinellas Park for yelling at the mother of his children, his mother, his own mom, and several other juveniles.
He's just making videos and going viral, yelling at everybody.
Yeah, he would do it to get their reactions, which he would then post on social media to try and make money off of. He made several other videos where he would swing a large stick at his neighbors, yell racial slurs at people, and would block vehicles from driving through the mobile home park.
Oh my God.
I mean, look, I'm a pacifist. I really am. But sometimes somebody needs to get their ass kicked.
Yeah.
Maybe just like, go about 20 miles an hour and just let him bump off the front bumper.
just to know,
Just shake him up a little bit.
you are not playing nice with others.
You can't get away with this. We're going to stop you vigilante style.
Again, he needs a timeout.
He needs a timeout.
A reset.
A lot of people today do. Tampa International Airport would like to let you know that you should not be flying their airport with human remains in your bag, as somebody came through TSA with a human skull in their traveler's bag.
What the hell? How'd they get that?
The passenger declared 10 cigars, but the human remains, along with the prohibited plants, were found wrapped in foil in his luggage. He told the officer that the remains and other items were for, quote, rituals.
Oh, my.
So this guy wanted to get caught, it sounded like. I mean, how many more red flags do you need?
Everybody knows when you have a skull and bones, you road trip that baby.
You'd think, but
You don't go through TSA.
they say the items were taken and destroyed. It isn't known if the passenger is facing any kind of charges.
I don't know. You should be destroying skulls.
Yeah, destroyed?
That's a recipe for a ghost.
Right. Yeah,
They weren't taken to the criminology lab to be identified?
It doesn't feel like anything was handled well in this story.
Tampa?
What if that was a victim?
What the hell, Tampa?
That's pretty crazy, isn't it?
The Whacked Out News got me shook today.
Yeah, Kevin, we're not right.
I hear you. Well, bad news if you are looking at your first cousin in Connecticut and thinking you want to hit that.
Who would want to hit that with their cousin?
Well, Connecticut is now going to prohibit first cousin marriages starting on October 1st. They cite birth defects as the reason. Now, the current state law already bans marriages between parents, grandparents, siblings, and children, and more than 15 other states, including Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Vermont, still permit first cousin marriages.
Wow.
Even if it's second cousins, just know when you leave the room, people are talking.
We are.
They're talking.
Yeah, it's going to kind of get there. And boy, talk about a rough day. 75-year-old Charlene Kirby broke her leg while working on a ranch in McCoy, Colorado. And she was alone in about a quarter of a mile from her house and had to crawl for 14 hours through the darkness and cold to get to safety.
Oh,
Now,
my God.
That's a tough woman right there.
That is a very tough woman. Now, after a month in rehab, she danced at her grandson's wedding. So I guess good for you.
That kind of reminds me of that show, I Will Survive, or How Did I Survive? It's basically about people who they should have died and they somehow got through it, and they're telling the story, and the whole time you're watching it, you're kind of sweating because it's so intense.
Yeah.
That's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Thank goodness she made it.
That's pretty impressive, though. Could you imagine though crawling and be like, oh, you're in hour one?
Oh, hour one.
It's cold, it's dark.
As soon as you get home, you got to get the best meal.
You can kind of relate to this chick. Remember, you crawled to Burger King.
I did, and then you crawled a week later and beat my time, and I still have a tough time with that. And I kind of want to redo.
Okay.
Same Burger King, same idiots.
Same Burger King, same bum hip.
Same dumb DJs.